Example 3 on partial differentiation. We are given z equal to x power 4 times sine of xy cubed. Find the partial differentiation dz dx and dz dy. Let's look at the hard part first. Find the partial differentiation of z with respect to x. Notice that z is a product of two terms involving x, u and v. Therefore, when you do the partial differentiation, you must use the product rule. Let's recall the product rule first. Remember, differentiation of u times v is equal to u times dv dx plus v times du dx. This is called the product rule of differentiation. Therefore, when you do partial differentiation of z with respect to x, keep the first term x power 4, differentiate the second term with respect to x, which is differentiate sine xy cubed with respect to x, then plus second term sine of xy cubed times differentiation of x power 4 with respect to x. Then we must recall that how do we differentiate sine of x? Differentiate sine of x with respect to x, we know is cosine x. However, we need to do chain rule. That means, for example, differentiate sine of u with respect to x, we should expect cosine u times du dx. So, coming back to dz dx here, we have x power 4 times differentiation of sine xy cubed. You should get cosine xy cubed and then differentiate xy cubed with respect to x. Whereas the second term, differentiate x power 4 with respect to x, you get 4 times x power 3, then sine of xy power 3. Now, differentiate xy cubed with respect to x, you treat y constant, so you have x power 4 cosine xy cubed times, pull out the y cubed and differentiate x with respect to x, since y cubed is a constant, plus 4x cubed sine of xy cubed. As differentiation of x with respect to x is 1, therefore dz dx is x power 4 y cubed cosine xy cubed plus 4x cubed sine of xy cubed. Next, we are going to find dz dy. This is easier because we need not to use product rule. When you do dz dy, you treat x constant. Therefore, x power 4 is a constant. So when you do partial differentiation with respect to y on x power 4 sine xy cubed, x power 4 is a constant. So you can take out x power 4 and differentiate with respect to y sine of xy cubed. Using the fact that differentiate sine of y, you get cosine of y, Therefore, this is cosine of xy cubed now, and then apply the chain rule, differentiate xy cubed with respect to y. Pull out the constant x again. When you do the partial differentiation, you have x times differentiation of y cubed with respect to x. But differentiation of y cubed is 3y squared. So we multiply, you get 3 x power 4 plus 1 is 5 now, y squared cosine x y cubed for the answer of dz dy.